Before the stars learned their cosmic dance, before time itself began to flow, there was only light. An ocean of pure, undiluted existence, a symphony of creation waiting for its first note. And in that light, a being named Lyra was born, her essence woven from the very fabric of eternity. She was a child of the cosmos, her heart beating in rhythm with the universe, her thoughts painting galaxies across the void. She knew no pride, no fear, no loneliness. She was one with everything. One day, the source of all light spoke to her, not in words, but in a wave of understanding that washed over her soul. "Lyra," the presence resonated, "I have woven a path for you, a destiny as bright as 1,000 suns. You will be a guardian of creation, a beacon for all that will ever be." Lyra felt the warmth of this promise, a gentle current guiding her through the infinite. She danced with newborn stars, sang nebulas into existence, and watched as the first threads of life began to sprout on silent worlds. Her path was clear, her purpose defined. She was happy. But as eons drifted by like cosmic dust, a question, small as a single grain of sand, formed in the vastness of her mind. "Is this path truly mine?" she wondered. She saw the intricate patterns of destiny laid out before her, beautiful and perfect. Yet a whisper of another possibility echoed from a place she did not know. The whisper spoke of choice, of paths not yet written, of a song she could compose herself. This thought, once born, began to grow. It was a seed of curiosity that took root in the fertile ground of her eternal heart. She started to deviate from the shimmering road of her destiny, just by little at first. She painted a star with a color the universe had never seen. She taught a fledgling comet a new, unpredictable dance. Each small act of defiance was a note added to her own melody, a melody that was both exhilarating and terrifying. The cosmos watched in silence. The path of destiny remained, glowing faintly, waiting for her return. But Lyra was captivated by the thrill of the unknown. She traveled to the shadowed corners of existence, places the light of destiny had not yet touched. There, she met echoes fragments of forgotten possibilities, dreams that were never dreamed, and choices that were never made. They swirled around her, not with judgment, but with a silent, profound understanding. In one of these forgotten realms she found a mirror. It was not made of silver or light, but of pure silence. As she gazed into it, she did not see her radiant form. Instead, she saw a flicker of something else, a being of shadow born from her own doubt. His name was Malak, and he was the embodiment of her choice. "You see," he whispered, his voice the sound of a breaking star, "to choose is to create a shadow. For every path you take, you leave another in darkness." Lyra looked at Malak, not with fear, but with a dawning comprehension. He was not her enemy. He was her creation, the consequence of her freedom. He represented all the destinies she had abandoned, all the what-ifs that now haunted the void. She felt a pang of sorrow, not for herself, but for the beautiful, perfect path she had been promised, now left to fade. "Did I make a mistake?" she asked the silence, her voice trembling for the first time. Malak stepped closer, his form less of a shadow and more of a reflection. "A mistake?" he mused. "Or the first true act of creation. The source gave you existence. But you, Lyra, you gave yourself a story." He pointed back toward the distant glow of her original path. "That was a gift, a beautiful, safe harbor. But a harbor is not the ocean. You chose the ocean." Lyra understood then. Destiny was not a chain, but a starting point. It was a loving hand pointing the way, but not forcing the journey. The universe did not demand obedience. It offered a song and waited to see if you would sing along or compose a harmony of your own. Her pride wasn't in thinking she knew better, but in believing her choice had to be a rebellion. It wasn't a rebellion at all. It was a collaboration. With this newfound wisdom, she turned back, not to retrace her steps, but to weave her new path into the old one. She took the chaotic colors she had discovered and blended them with the pure light of her origin. She taught her unpredictable cosmic dance to the orderly constellations. She didn't erase her destiny, she expanded it. She took the story written for her and added her own verses. Malak, her shadow, did not vanish. Instead, he walked beside her, no longer a specter of regret, but a reminder of the infinite power of a single choice. He was the contrast that gave her light its meaning, the silence that made her music beautiful. Together, they traveled the cosmos, not as a guardian following a map, but as artists painting an ever-expanding masterpiece. They were no longer just a part of the story, they had become the storytellers. And so, we too stand in our own small corners of the universe gazing at the stars. We feel the pull of what is meant to be, the gentle nudge of destiny. We sense a plan, a purpose, a path laid out for us by a force greater than ourselves. It offers us comfort, a sense of belonging in this vast, often chaotic existence. But within each of us, there is also the whisper that Lyra heard, the call of the unknown, the quiet, powerful urge to choose. We are all born into a story, but we are also given the ink to write our own chapters. Our destiny is not a cage, but a canvas, and our choices are the brushstrokes. Perhaps the greatest act of faith is not to blindly follow the path we are given, but to trust that we can walk our own and still arrive at a place of light. To embrace our shadows, our doubts, and our what-ifs, not as failures, but as the very things that make our story unique and uniquely beautiful. For it is in the dance between destiny and choice, between the written and the unwritten, that we discover who we truly are. Not just children of the universe, but its co-creators. And in that realization, we are reborn.